All right, for the diagonal sit, we're gonna get into what looks like 90-90, okay? But we're gonna connect our foot to our thigh. This is my left side, and I am not gonna do both sides. I'm only doing this to the left side. Now you can see in this position that I have a bit of a gap underneath the outside of my left knee. So the floor and the knee are not connected. So for me, I'm gonna prop my left hip up on a pad, a pillow, something to give me some elevation so that I can get that left knee in contact with the ground, okay? Once I have that, I'm gonna make the angle of this front or left leg kind of match the back leg. Again, remember, you're sticking your foot against your thigh here. And I wanna be squared up, but for me, this is a lot of tension and pressure, so I'm kind of turned to the side. I'm going to surround my left knee with my right and left hand. Okay, so I'm straddling my knee here. And I have my palms on the floor just in front of my knee. So I'm not all the way back here. I'm sort of reaching just in front of the knee. Okay, already in this position, I feel some stuff happening in the greater trochanter, this bony ball aspect of my hip. This is the outside edge of my femur. Okay, I feel like I'm getting pulled into a joint capsule stretch. That's a good thing. We want that. Now you are going to decide if you're in a I'm going to decide if you're in a high diagonal or low diagonal, but the way that you'll know is if you're here and you take your left hand off, if you feel like you're going to fall down like I just did, or if you feel like you have to grip these side muscles, the oblique muscles, and crank yourself into this twist, then what you're going to do is simply stay in this shape and drop down to your forearm, keeping your hands exactly where they were. Now, I have somewhat lost that greater trochanter stretch sensation, that hip capsule stretch sensation. So I want to maneuver myself to find it again. And I encourage you to play with positions. Just keep your hands where they were. Once I have what I feel like is a good setup, I'm going to reach my knee away from my body in the direction that the thigh is already going. So I'm going to make this dramatic so you can see it. Watch my knee, regular, and now a reach. Now that I have that reach, I can feel that greater trochanter spot, and I actually feel some adductor inner thigh on my left as well. That's good. From this position, I'm just gonna push away gently from the floor, thinking about moving my shirt tag away from my hands without doing anything excessive, without rounding myself backwards and crunching my body. So I'm trying to stay tall here. It's probably better for you to move into this shirt tag away from hand position first, then drop down to the forearm, and that is your hold. You're breathing here. If you want to think about just energetically lifting that knee to get the adductors to turn on a little bit more on this left leg, that's great. You do not have to, and I definitely don't want you to pull it back and round and roll. You see how my whole body moves? Not a good move. So just like energetically lifting that leg, if that makes sense. I'm not really trying to lift it. I'm just applying that energy up, and I feel that adductor. From here, I'm pushing away from the floor through my forearm, through my palm. I'm pushing shirt tag away from hands, making sure that I feel that greater trochanter spot. I'm not feeling a butt squeeze and glute tension. That's going to ruin this. I just want to slide that knee away enough to feel like there's a joint capsule stretch kind of thing happening here, right? I say joint capsule stretch because it doesn't feel like a muscle stretch. It feels like something's going on within the joint. My breathing is the same as usual. In through the nose, soft and quiet. Filling up my body with air, thinking about getting this hip to shoulder area, the midsection, to expand on my inhales. And then when I exhale, I'm feeling myself get a little bit heavier, meltier into the floor on this left side. If you can hold this position without feeling like you're falling over, without a bunch of tension, then this high diagonal sit will be great for you. It is the same points of performance with regards to this feeling in the greater trochanter, a little bit of adduction, and pushing the shirt tag away from the hands without rolling yourself and rounding and crunching your spine. So you're staying tall from pelvis to head. Same idea, we're kind of melting into this left hip. Okay, either the high or the low diagonal sit.